Imagine you're lost in a dark forest, no phone, no map, and suddenly a glowing golden stag steps out of the shadows, stares at you, then silently turns as if to say, "Follow me, if you want to get out alive." Stay with me because in this video you'll discover who this golden stag is, why it appears only to travelers in danger, and a strange rule: it guides you to safety, but never lets you see where it finally disappears. Maybe you know this feeling. You take a wrong turn on a hike, the path vanishes, panic rises. Our legend begins exactly like that, with a traveler who thought he knew the forest, until the sky darkened and every tree looked the same. The traveler walks faster, then slower, then just stops. No birds, no wind, just silence. In many old tales, this silence means the forest is watching. And in this one, it's the moment when the golden stag finally decides to appear. The traveler wants to run, but the stag simply turns its head, holds the gaze, then takes one slow step away, then another, its hooves leaving tiny circles of light on the ground that fade but never fully disappear. Tempting, right? Here's the first rule of the golden stag. It never speaks, never makes a sound. The only voice it has is direction. If you follow, it leads. If you stop, it stops too and waits, glowing gently like a lantern that refuses to go out. So what is this thing? A spirit? A test? In many European and Asian legends, the stag is a messenger between worlds. Gold means it doesn't belong to the normal forest. It belongs to the space between danger and safety, a guardian of the in-between. As they walk, the traveler notices something weird. The more he follows, the quieter his fear becomes. Same dark trees, same unknown path, but with that golden light ahead, the forest feels less like a trap and more like a long, strange corridor. Second rule: the golden stag appears only when the danger is real. You can't just wish for it because you're tired. In stories, it shows up near cliffs, swamps, old battlefields, places where one wrong step can erase you without a sound. In one version of the legend, a group of merchants is lost in thick fog. They see only the stag's golden outline ahead, floating like a moving moon. If they move too far from it, the fog presses closer, so they cling to that light like a rope. Another tale says a young woman fleeing bandits sees the stag appear on a hill. It doesn't charge or attack. It simply climbs higher, making itself visible from far away, so she can run in a straight line, always aiming for that light. Notice something. The stag never fights the danger. It doesn't scare the bandits or close the cliff. Its power is guidance. In these myths, survival isn't about strength. It's about following the one clear signal when everything else is chaos. Now you might ask, what if someone ignores it? Of course, the stories have that character. The proud hunter who thinks, "I don't need help." He turns away for just a moment, looks back, and the golden stag is gone like it never existed. In every version, those who refuse the stag's help get lost deeper. Paths twist, roots grab ankles, the air grows heavier. The legend is clear: in dangerous places, refusing guidance is not bravery. It's slow, quiet self-destruction. But let's go back to our first traveler. He chooses to follow. Step after step, the forest shifts. Trees thin out, air feels lighter, stars appear between the branches. The stag never looks back, but somehow you feel it knows you're still there. Third rule: the golden stag stops exactly at the border between danger and safety. Not in the village, not at your door. Just where the forest ends, where the path becomes familiar again, where you can finally say, "I know the rest of the way." Some legends say that if you try to get closer, to touch it or tie a rope, it gently steps back. You can follow its light, but you can't own it. It's a guide, not a pet, not a trophy. The forest lets you go only if you respect that rule. And here comes the strangest part. When the traveler finally turns to thank the stag, it's already walking away back into the dark. No sound, no trace, just a faint memory of gold between the trunks, swallowed by blue and black. So what does this legend actually teach? On the surface, it's a rescue story. But under that, it whispers something else. In life's darkest forests, help doesn't always shout. Sometimes it just glows quietly and walks in one direction. Think about it. How many times have you been lost in choices, fear, or confusion, and then one small sign appeared? A person, a sentence, a gut feeling. Not enough to carry you, but enough to say, "Walk this way, just this next step." In many modern retellings, the Golden Stag becomes a symbol of intuition. You don't know the whole map, just the next safe step, and that's fine. The legend doesn't promise comfort. It promises direction when standing still is too dangerous. But there's also a warning. Not every light in the dark is a golden stag. Some are illusions, traps, or shortcuts that lead in circles. Old storytellers insisted the true stag never rushes, never demands, never frightens, it simply waits. So how do you recognize it in your own life? Legends hint at 3 signs. You feel a bit calmer, you see one clear next step, and you sense you could explain the choice simply, I'm going this way because it feels quietly right. Back to our traveler. Years later, he becomes the old person telling this story by the fire. But here's the twist. He never tells exactly where the forest is. Because the point isn't the map. The point is what you do when you're already lost. And now, imagine you're stepping into your next forest, a risky project, a tough decision, a relationship that scares you. The legend invites you to ask, where is my golden stag? What is the one small light I can choose to follow? Because in the end, the myth is less about magic deer and more about this. Danger is real, but abandonment is not. In the darkest stretches, something, intuition, kindness, chance, appears ahead of you and quietly offers, come this way. Before we close, keep this image. You on a narrow path, night all around, and far ahead a steady golden shape moving at your pace. Never too far, never too close. That's the promise of the legend. You are not meant to wander alone forever. If this story of the golden stag lit up even a tiny corner of your own forest, stay with this channel. We'll explore more myths and legends that don't just entertain, but secretly teach us how to walk out of danger, one step at a time.